What are you doing?
Tired of watching. What are you doing?
Apparently that guy has a history of going up to... Oh, the fuck. Apparently that guy has a history of going up to girls in that area and sniffing their bums when they're not paying attention.
So, because I don't understand how all of that was recorded. Like, did she know he does that, so she set it up to catch him out, or?
So she made a follow-up video to it because a lot of people were saying that it was fake. Now, this guy's been arrested before. He's been in before for doing similar things like this, harassing women.
So I really hope this is the last video that I make about this whole situation. Reading the comments on my last video has really made me sick, honestly. People are saying that it's staged, fake. People are asking, why would you let this happen to you? Who's filming? Why are you filming? Why are you just standing there? Why didn't you kick him? Why didn't you scream? You're just as creepy as him for filming yourself. I think for the most part, people that are commenting that didn't see the original video. They didn't read the caption of me explaining that. It felt like everywhere I went, no matter where I went, I felt like he was following me. And the extent of what I thought he could do to me was say something to me or touch me or do something to me in that sense. Like I said, if I thought that was even an option of like what he actually did to me, I wouldn't have my back to him. I never thought that would happen. I never thought of that. If you assume something like that off the bat, like, good. Like, obviously I'm gonna assume that from now on as well. But that's not something that crossed my mind. And I just had my phone on the bookshelf. It was the back camera is facing me, so that's how it was filmed. It's not anything crazy. And he probably didn't see it because I was standing in front of the camera. It was filmed on 0.5 and I have like a nude phone case, so he probably wasn't looking or thought to look or something. I don't know. And the fact that people think that it's fake or staged, like, did you look up his name? Did you see that he's actually a criminal and does this a lot? That he's been arrested before? Like, make it make sense. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why did you let that happen to you? Like, if I knew what he was doing, obviously I wouldn't be letting him do anything to me. I would expect comments like this from men. I wouldn't want them, but the fact that it's also coming from women is just really upsetting, honestly, because you'd think that, you know, we experience harassment and stalking and stuff like that from men a lot. So I just don't understand. I just don't understand why people are blaming me for it. And I was standing around because I'm in a bookstore. And I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna attack someone. Because what if something worse happens to me by doing that? It's just crazy because if I didn't film it, people wouldn't believe that it happened. But even filming it, people still don't believe me. They don't believe that it's real. They think it's staged. Even though we have the name, she said in the comment that he's known for doing this kind of stuff in Burbank and Glendale. He's been arrested for it. And I've gotten multiple messages from people saying that the same thing has happened to them by the same guy, or something similar has happened to them somewhere else. I mean, because of the footage that I got, I was able to make a police report. I showed it to the Barnes & Noble. Hopefully they ban him from there and they tell the whole area because he does it a lot. Anyways, I just hope that the video raises awareness, especially for the Glendale Burbank area, because he keeps doing this stuff. He's still out there, and I'm sorry for everyone else who has experienced the same thing by him.
I'm a bit perplexed at people's comments because if you do look this guy up, he has done this multiple times. So I don't know why anybody wouldn't believe her that he's doing this. Also, she got proof. I mean, I get what she's saying as well. I've spoken to multiple girls that are scared to retaliate against guys because especially when the guy's deranged. He's gone up to girls sniffing their bums. I would not advise her.
It's the guy clearly belongs in a mental home because nobody sane of mind would want to be doing such a thing. And yeah, it's just regardless whether he was sane of mind or not, it is intimidating for a man to be there, especially doing stuff like that. You know he's pretty much capable of doing anything. And why are you going to put yourself at risk? I think she did the right thing by recording it, getting the evidence. Doesn't matter what other people online think, as long as the police are going to take action or believe it, then that's the most important thing. That's just weird.
Yeah,
the video does look fake though. I give it that, because it's a whole typical thing of how come it's being recorded, he doesn't know, it's constantly happening, etc.
He's
But I
mentally
get
ill
the
as well.
point of why she done it.
Yeah, you wouldn't advise, like I wouldn't advise you to say, kick him, Sab. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what he's got on him. They're in America as well. You
Yeah.
just pull out a gun and shoot her. What she did was a smart thing.
Yeah, she did say, "What are you doing?" And a guy said, "I'm tying my shoelace." What could she do? She can't accuse him there and then on the spot.
Yeah, and also just the fact that you can look this up and see that he has done this multiple times, that it's on file. So I don't know what anyone's confused about. What I'm slightly confused about is why she's crying at people's comments. I mean,
Because I'll tell you why she's crying. Because as a woman, often a lot of people won't believe you, and that's what's sad about it. Is she's gone through this experience and no one believes her. I would cry as well.
I don't get why people are surprised by the reaction of faceless people on the internet. No matter what we say and do, there's always going to be some people that go after us, right? So, yeah, I believe her. I looked into it. I found it straight away that the guy had done this. But I'm also like, if I put some shit out there and I accuse somebody of something, I know as a guy, if I accuse a woman of something, I'm going to have women coming after me, calling me all sorts of names. Oh, I bet you did this, I bet you did that. I'm not going to cry. I already know what's coming.
Yeah,
it's the internet. What are you crying for, man?
I get it. On the internet is a horrible place, but at the same time, I think it's deeper than that, because it is the whole concept of something quite serious that's going on, and it often being dismissed.
People on the internet are skeptics. That's just the way it is. They do it to guys, they do it to girls.
It's just relaying it into real life, though. If people on the internet don't believe you, what's to say people in like person aren't believing her as well?
Well, I mean, in her case, luckily he had a criminal record and she got proof. He was doing that. He's been seen doing that before.
What a fucking creep.
Yeah, for real. Like sniffing women's bums. I'm just like, what possessed you to do that?
Yeah, I will never. Well, we've covered it a few times on this channel, guys doing that. I don't understand. What are they sniffing? I don't understand.
It's that guy. Do you remember that guy? He took 2 long steps and he was like, and he backed up. But one sniff wasn't good enough. He went 4 times and they eventually got caught.
Do you think they're curious, or do you think they like it?
Curious of what? Shit stinks.
Yeah, like they're just curious of what women's bums smell like. I don't know.
You smell like everybody else's bums.
Just I don't know about that.
I mean, they're bums, right? You shit there.
Yeah, but everyone's bums are probably going to smell different.
They're all probably going to smell bad, though, is what I'm saying. They're probably not going to smell great.
Listen, you made me lose trail of what I was going to say. It was so relevant.
You said listen. I listened.
No, because you started talking about other stuff. It was before we digressed slightly.
Let me show you this last video.
No. Just wait for a minute. Let me try and regain my thoughts.
They ain't go all day.
Bro, you could cut it out.
I ain't cutting this out.
Leave
You
me
guys
for
can
a
suffer
minute.
with me.
Leave me for a minute. Wait.
We're all going to sit here together.
No, because now you put me under even more pressure.
Pressure makes
Don't be out
diamonds.
of order. Do you see the way I get treated? You see the way I get treated?
Oh,
But
don't
because Michael
start.
edits the videos, he gets to edit out anything he wants.
I don't, but you watch the videos. I barely edit anything out. It's only
If
if
you was
it's...
having a thinking moment, you would edit it out.
No, I wouldn't.
Or whatever. Oh, yes, that's what I was going to say. So, you know what's sad about it, though? Is like, because you know sometimes people have this attitude towards women like, well, if you dress a certain way, expect to get treated a certain way, blah, 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 or don't go out late at night because it's dangerous and blah, 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 blah. But this girl was just in a bookshop in the middle of the day, dressed quite, I don't know, modestly. I know she wasn't a dress, but she wasn't really revealing. And that's still happening to her. It's sad.
I understand. I get it. I understand it can be a scary world for women. And no matter how they dress, they're always going to encounter creeps. I get that. I don't know what she expected. The internet can be very cutthroat. It's not a new thing. It's not a new concept. And we've seen people behave like this towards people before.
Maybe she was just crying because she's upset about the whole situation anyway. I mean, I'd cry if I saw that happen to me alone, aside from... I wouldn't even put it on the internet as well, though. I don't like to share my personal business, but I would still cry if that happened to me, probably. I'm an emotional person with that.
What if someone sniffed your bum? Or if someone
Yeah,
sniffed
like
your
if I
bum
was
and then everyone
out-
left mean comments?
No, because I wouldn't upload it. But if I was out and I recorded and I saw this creepy guy come behind me about 10 times, but the scary part is you couldn't really see what he was doing. It's like, even when she was moving, it's like he disappeared, and that's what made it look fake, because you couldn't see him. But the creepy thing is that he was behind her so many times, you don't know what he was doing. And at one point, he looked like he had something in his hand. How do you know he wasn't taking pictures of underneath her dress? You know what I'm saying? I would have been really upset by that whole experience.
Okay, this story keeps getting crazier and crazier. Many of you saw my video yesterday of the sniffer in Barnes & Noble.
So I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what the actual
Well, since this guy has been exposed, Robert Horry, the 7-time NBA champion who played for the Los Angeles Lakers, has come out and said he and his family have dealt with this man before. According to Horry, this guy was arrested and went to jail for 8 years. So that means he went to jail, got out, got arrested again, he's out again, and doing the same exact thing.
Hi. Are you following me?
No. My bad.
Yeah.
More videos have come out on this guy sniffing other women. And many of you in my comments have said you've experienced this guy also. The question is, why doesn't the state of California know where this guy is every step of the way?
And the whole time I'm thinking I'm fine because he hasn't said anything or touched me or anything. But then you notice that he goes over and does the same thing to this girl. And he'll crouch down low and pretend like he's doing something and then smell? I don't know. And the whole time I'm wondering why he's always around me. But this was our interaction.
What are you doing?
How do you go to jail twice for doing the same exact thing, some of those things to minors, and you don't know where this guy is? He is still on the loose. So if you're in the Burbank, California area and the surrounding areas, be on the lookout for this guy. And still, despite all the evidence, some of you aren't being very nice to these victims. Women are turning to this, because as evidence in this case, the state isn't doing much at all.
Few things. First thing is, ain't no way he's gone to prison for 8 years for just sniffing girls' booties. He must have been doing other stuff. He must be...
You might have messed with minors.
Yeah, he must have done something bad. So this guy, I don't know why he's been let loose or he's not in a mental asylum. That's beyond me. Secondly, if he's constantly in this same shop, they would have camera footage from CCTV. So I don't know why they're not doing anything about it. And thirdly, I just think it's crazy that he was that close to her. It's like if anyone's nearby you, you would hear them, especially in a quiet place like that. So how did she not hear him? You know what I mean?
I know what I think that I don't know. I don't know why what happened. All I know is the guy is deranged. He has been to prison. If you needed proof that aliens were here, that guy is it. He literally looks like an alien. Like, you know the alien in Men in Black, the tall, skinny one. I don't know, man, but yeah, a guy's out here sniffing bums. If a guy ever sniffed my bum, shit's gonna get real. I'll fart in your direction, disorientate you, and then punch you up. It's crazy. I got farts for days.
It's weird that he went up. Do you think she went up to that other girl after and showed her?
Maybe. I don't know, man. Don't know what to say.
What a creep.
Right, let me ask you a question, right, before we start this video. I was having an argument with my boys because I woke up in the morning. So, all right, let me rewind a little bit. My boy said to me, I'm watching UFC tonight, right? If I say to you, Sab, I'm watching UFC tonight, what does that mean?
You're watching UFC tonight.
Does that mean that I'm going to watch the beginning or the end? Or anything in between?
The whole thing?
The whole thing, correct. If I said that I was going to watch, if I was going to watch the beginning, I would say I'm going to watch the prelims, or I'm going to watch the beginning. If I was going to watch the main event, I was like, I'm going to wake up and watch the main event. If I was going to watch the middle card, it would be the middle. My friend Jamie says to me, I'm going to stay up and watch UFC. So I woke up in the morning because he's the only person in that chat interested in UFC other than me, and started talking about it because he said to me, I'm going to stay up and watch it. Turns out he didn't watch it. So then he turns around to me and says, I didn't specify what part of UFC I was going to watch.
Well, I can understand it because, for example,
Go on.
let's say Anthony Joshua's boxing tonight,
Yeah.
and I say to you, Michael, I'm going to watch the boxing tonight.
Okay.
You, in your mind, no, I'm not watching every other fight before that. I'm just watching AJ's fight.
Wait, me personally or just people in general?
Well, you should know that that's
But-
what I'm going to watch. And
Yeah.
you should know that that's probably what most people mean when they say I'm going to watch the boxing tonight. Usually you
No.
want to watch the highlight of it,
No.
not necessarily the whole thing.
No, but there's people that
New sticker.
sit and watch the whole boxing card, right? Jamie's a UFC fan.
Some, but not often. But like, I don't know about UFC. UFC might be different to boxing. But if there's like a main event, like a Ronda Rousey, that's the only UFC fighter I know.
Conor McGregor.
Does he even still fight?
He's supposed to fight this year.
Ain't there like an Asian guy?
Yeah, there's loads of Asian guys. The point I'm trying to make is that you're not a boxing fan. You just like AJ. So that's why you're going to be watching.
Actually, false information. I'll watch.
Sab.
Michael, whoa.
You're not a
Whoa,
boxing fan.
Whoa.
Can you name 5 fighters in the heavyweight division?
Be quiet. Just let me finish talking. No, I'm not particularly a boxing fan, but I don't just watch AJ. Like, if there's a big fight, I will watch it. Like, let's say if Tyson Fury was going to fight, I'll watch it.
So you're a casual.
Yeah, casual, if you want to call it that. Like, there's a lot of people who don't watch football, but everyone watches the World Cup.
Okay, so then back to my point. You're not a boxing fan. You just watch big fights. Right?
Yes.
All right then.
But don't just
Cool.
say, oh, you just like AJ, because no.
You do just like AJ. And the
Oh my
only
God.
reason that you would sit up to watch a Tyson Fury fight is likely because of the rest of your family, not because of you.
Are you crazy?
No, I'm not crazy.
You are. You clearly are.
Even if that's the case, right? If it's a main event, that's what most people are doing. Most people sit to watch the main event. Like
Do
most
you live in my body?
I mean, obviously
No,
not.
you don't. Exactly. So why do you... You're like
Weird
my
choice
brother.
of
Why
words.
do you always try and tell me what I think and feel? You try and tell me facts about myself.
I mean, if they're facts, right?
No, you try and tell me what you think is facts. Like, for example, I'll say to my brother, like, oh,
My brother's a very smart man.
let me just think of a dumb example. I don't like eating onion rings. He'd be like,
You do.
yes, you do, though. What do you mean? How are you telling me what I do and don't like? If I've said I don't like onion rings, I don't like onion rings.
Just
But
'cause
I
you
do like onion rings, but I'm just saying...
Alright, can I get back to my
I'm
point?
just saying, don't try to tell me what I think and feel. Continue.
I'm just going to get back to my point. We're going to leave that. We'll shelf that for now. Anyway, you aside, Jamie is a UFC fan, right? My boy, like me, is a UFC fan. We both are avid UFC watchers. We can sit there and talk about all sorts of fighters that are not on the main card. So he says to me before UFC starts, I am going to watch UFC. Not I'm going to watch the main event, just I'm going to watch UFC. So I said in the morning, blah, blah, blah. I think it was Sugar Shane beat Aljamain, right? Beat him very quickly. So they're talking about it. Oh, spoiler, Max, spoiler. So I said to him, this is like going to the cinema and telling me you're going to watch Oppenheimer or Barbie. And then it comes 10 o'clock when your showing is finished and you have come out of the cinema and I start talking to you about it. And you're like, oh, I didn't get to see that part. And so he said to me, that's a dumb analogy. And I don't understand how that's a dumb analogy, given who he is. If it was you and you were saying to me, because I know you, I'm watching UFC tonight, I know that you're not watching 3.5 hours of that 4-hour show.
Absolutely not.
You are probably going to watch Conor McGregor and whoever he's fighting, or Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Or if she ever came back.
Yeah.
But if Jamie or somebody that I know says to me, I'm watching UFC because I've got a UFC chat, then they're telling me they're watching the whole show because that's what we do because we're fans. It's like I'm a fan of wrestling.
But was he planning to like watch the whole thing the next day but only stayed up to watch the main event?
He said to me, I'm watching UFC tonight. So I don't know what his plans were.
No, but if he's saying, oh, Mike, spoiler, does that mean that that would have been his plan? He was either going to watch it all or he wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know what his plan was because he didn't specify to me. All he said to me was, I'm going to watch UFC
I'm just talking
tonight.
the next day after you had a conversation and he said spoiler.
Yeah, so when I said spoiler, he was like, oh, I hadn't seen that part.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I don't think you explained it very well.
I just don't think you understand what I'm saying. If he's messaged the next day to say, oh, Mike, that's a spoiler, does that mean that he still wanted to watch the whole thing, but he just didn't want to watch it all yesterday and all he watched was the main event yesterday?
Yeah, what he wants to do was split it up and watch it one day and another day he watches.
Fine.
Which would have been fine if he had said that. Right?
Maybe plans changed. Maybe he was going to watch the whole thing and something.
Okay, but is it my fault?
No, it's
He's
not your
blaming me.
fault. It's not your fault.
Whose fault is it? It's Jamie's fault, right?
It's a lack of communication. Man, I should be a therapist.
No, you shouldn't. If I say to you, Sabi...
You're rude.
Yeah, I'm honest.
Why should I not be a therapist?
Listen to what you're saying.
I said there's lack of communication.
On one end, not my end.
No. Oh,
How is it on my end? I'm not psychic. If
yeah,
you tell
it's
me you're
lack of
watching something...
communication on his end, correct.
Okay, so whose fault is it entirely?
His fault.
Okay. Is my analogy of going to the film stupid? If I tell you I'm going to watch a film...
I wouldn't say it's stupid because it makes sense. However, I can understand why he would think it's stupid because... I don't know.
No, there you go. She doesn't know because it isn't. If I tell you I'm going to watch a film in the cinema, I'm likely going to see it through. Now, I have plenty of friends that go to watch films in cinemas and fall asleep halfway through them. That is my fact. I think I've got more friends that fall asleep in
But a film
films
is one solid thing. It's not loads of fights split up.
Correct. That's true. But because he's a UFC fan, if he tells me I'm watching UFC...
But also, you just assumed, and that's why you should never assume.
It is on him to tell me what his plan is with UFC. That is on you, bro. That is on you. What? I know he's looking at the camera right now. What are you going to do, bro?
Yeah.
You ain't going to do shit.
Yeah.
This guy, he thinks because he's tall, he can do me side.
How tall?
He's very tall.
Oh, I was very tall.
He's got a girlfriend.
I was just asking how tall he is.
He's very tall. I think I have to look up at him.
Yeah, but what are we saying? Are we saying like 6 foot? Are we saying like 6'2", 6'5"? Like
I
what?
think he's 6'2".
Because they don't make them tall in the UK.
He's as tall as he is dumb. And you can hold this L, bruv. You think I wasn't going to talk about it? I know nobody else cares. Everybody else is tuned off this video. This is just for you, bruv. The other day, right, we were talking about an anime. And in this anime, right, for all of you that don't watch anime, this is still going to make sense to you. This will still make sense to you. There's a character in this show called Bleach. Now, if you watch Bleach, click off now because I'm about to spoil the latest episode. There is a character that had the power of imagination. Mm-hmm. If you have the power of imagination, what does that mean?
Fuck knows.
You can do anything, right? If
Right.
I wanted to imagine you to actually turn into a man, you would. If I wanted to imagine your head was going to pop open, it would.
But that's just all in your imagination, though. It can't happen in real life. Otherwise, what's the point of it being imagination?
I understand it's an anime. His imagination can project into reality.
Okay, so he could imagine. Okay.
Anything,
Yeah.
right? Imagination is limitless.
But so can I. So can we all.
But we can't project our imagination.
What does that mean?
As in, we can imagine something and try to work towards it if it's within the realms of our reality. But I can't imagine that you're going to lose all your fingers right now and it happens.
No, but that's what... Okay, anyway, go on.
This character had the ability, whatever he imagined, he could do it to you, right? So he's fighting a guy called Zaraki Kenpachi, who's just raw brute strength. He's just brute strength. Imagine Brock Lesnar in anime form. Breaks everything. This guy had the power of imagination and lost to the guy of brute strength. Explain to me how. You could have just imagined that his heart stops. So Jamie, in his infinite wisdom, decided to start defending this and trying to figure out a way for it to make sense. And it doesn't make sense because no matter what power scaling you apply to this, no matter what system that you use, if you look up what definition, what imagination is, no matter what you say, it doesn't make sense at all. Zero. There's no way to make sense of it. I'm gonna be all day ranting about this.
Yeah, I'm going to start charging you £45 per rant.
Fuck you, Jamie. Despite me ripping Jamie earlier,
Yep.
Those are my boys. I love those guys. I wish you could meet them. I think you met one of them. You met Mo. I think you did. You met Mo at my party.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. Sometimes they just say some shit that I have to just scratch my head.
Ain't Jamie the one that basically always cusses me out? Yeah, I just exposed you. Jamie. If you got something to say it to my face.
I wish they could come on, but our channel will get taken down.
Yeah, I'm not trying to have that. I'm not trying to be like Myron.
Yeah, no. Don't want to do anything moronic. Anyway, yeah, I love those guys, but they chat shit.